Aware we are being recorded. So gonna let some other people in because we're almost done with this presentation. But yeah, we do have, like I said, 7 tournaments and potentially 10 tournaments, depending how well we do with Tournament of Champions and states and nationals. So.
And like, is there like if I choose as an elective, is there a way I might get like refuse to join it, or like do I have to do something like be in it, or like is it the same thing as like before? Like you like if you choose it, you get in it.
It's essentially that there's no prerequisites for speech and debate. There's no trying out. There is no, hey, you can only be on the team if you've done this. No, we do accept any and every student. Obviously, there has to be caps for each classroom, and the cap is 38. Right now, we do have 45 people on the team between 2 different periods. So that shouldn't be an issue. Really, our biggest contingent of students are freshmen this year. So half of the team are freshmen. So coming in next year, you're going to be having sophomores that have a year of experience that aren't too removed from you and may still remember some of the teachers at Nicholas and things like that. So so that's probably a real good sign. Now, you're able to come in as long as it fits in your schedule. You're able to attend. You're able to sign up for the class.
Oh, what schedules wouldn't like mix in for speech and debate? Like, what wouldn't
I actually have 2 juniors, and I'm working with these 2 juniors so they're actually still a part of the team, even though they're not in the actual class. So they're still able to compete. They're still able to participate in everything that speech and debate does, even though they're not in the class. Their schedule is loaded with AP IB classes. One of them, I think, first period and second period was either Spanish 3, and the other one, I forget exactly what it was, but it does depend on the schedule. And I do actually have a freshman that she wanted to be in concert band because she's been in band forever and she wants to continue that. And she decided to drop the class in order to take concert band first period, because that's the only period that it's available. And without actually switching her entire schedule around, it wouldn't work to move her to the other period also. So we're also, again, working with her to keep her on the team because she's competed pretty much all fall semester and plans to compete all spring semester. And I don't want to lose a person that's dedicated like that. And potentially next year when schedules change again, she'll be back in the class. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you think, like, because I'm like an honor student, I want to take IB, so it was really helpful what you told me. Would I still be able to be in it even if I did want to take those classes?
It is a first come first, or not a first come first serve, but it is a case by case basis, meaning that I've sat down with the principal, Mrs. Rubio, about this. As the fear is allowing students to still compete and participate if they're not fully engaged. It really does depend on the classes. I do talk to counselors. I talk to the principal. I look at your transcripts. I look at your grades. These are all things that come into factor. Even if you can't physically be in the period with the class, then you may be able to still compete with the team. But it is a case by case basis.
Okay, and let's say like I'm in honors and everything, and I still compete in it, but I'm not in the class. But I still get like college credits.
No, the way the independent studies is set up for now, it is with the intention that you will eventually join the class. It's just this semester or potentially this year, you're not going to be able to do it just because of schedule conflicts. The intention is to join the class and be a part of the class. So speech and debate does count as a fine art. It does matriculate through A through G to the UC system. But if you weren't physically in the class, you would not get college credit for speech and debate.
Sorry, I'm writing it down.
No. I see what you're doing. So I see Emily Gonzalez. Welcome, Emily. I will start potentially the next presentation. We may go over on time. If you're all right with that, I am too. But Matthew, do you have any other questions?
Sorry, I do.
Okay.
I'm trying to be organized.
Yeah.
Wait, what is a booster club?
Say that again.
You said something about booster club meeting. What is that exactly?
So the Booster Club is a separate entity from Fullerton Union High School. It's not a part of Fullerton Union High School, but it supports Fullerton Union, specifically in speech and debate. Really, it is a fundraising opportunity or a fundraising arm. So far this year, we've raised, I think, close to about $3,000 for the team. And that fundraising, what the Booster Club will do is if we need funds for either like a travel tournament or if we need to buy scripts or material, things like that, the Booster Club, I can go to the Booster Club and say, hey, we have this opportunity, we have this ability, can you help us out? And they would donate money to the program, allowing us to purchase those, either like a plane ticket or renting a van or the hotel rooms involved, things like that, where costs may be prohibitive for some students to participate in. The Booster Club will hopefully or helpfully help out with that.
And one more question.
Sure.
So you guys do pay for the, let's say like everything is back to normal. What do you guys pay for nationals? Like, would we have to pay anything?
It is expected that the students do pay for the tournaments. However, there is always if you learn anything from me today, Matthew, is I want to have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it. If it is a situation where either you don't compete or the school pays for you to compete, I'm going to figure out a way for the school to compete. Okay. That is an absolute option. No way ever is your grade actually tied to competing, because competition takes money. And the last thing I ever want to do is give a student a grade because they can spend more money than another student. For actual competitions, yeah, some of them are expensive. We went to Glenbrooks in around Thanksgiving, and just one entry for the tournament was $65. And that's a good chunk of change, where some of the other tournaments we went to are $15 or $8. And those are super easy to attend. Literally, it's like lunch money. But when it comes to Tournament of Champions and things like that, we are already looking at subsidizing, if not paying for the full event, just because I would much rather have reduced the stress of the student and their family and just worry about competition. Let's do the best that we can. And not, if we live in a world where we don't have to worry about money, I want to make that possible. So, and just focus on the competition, focus on, again, using your voice.
Yeah, I think that's right. When does the next meeting start? Like next session for?
The next session was supposed to start at, I'm looking at my thing, at 7:25, so about 7 minutes ago. So if you want to go check out another,
that's it.
Yeah, now is the time to go do that.
Right. Thank you so much.
All right, I look forward to seeing you next year, Matthew. All right, so Emily, I see you in here. I do want to share my screen real quick. I do have a presentation to share. So Emily, are you a prospective student or parent? Are you with us already?
I'll be in high school next year.
Okay, where are you going to right now?
Parks Junior High.
Oh, you're a Panther. I am a Panther too. I graduated from Parks Junior High in 1992. So I'm sure it's a lot different now than it has been ever. But no, I am a Panther. I went to Parks, so I'm glad to potentially, Emily, have someone from Parks on the team. So just to give you a basic idea of what we've been doing, and let me see, it looks like someone else just came in. Is it Marilyn? Looks like you just came in. I'm starting the presentation right now. You're not coming in the middle of anything. So I'm sorry, what was that?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, great. So just kind of put it out there that if you don't know already, this year is totally different from any other year that I've ever taught in my life. This is my 8th year in the classroom, but my first year with the team. I have worked for the district many times before, and actually I did my student teaching with a teacher that's actually directly across the hall from me now. So Mrs. Harris is our journalism teacher. She's been teaching for I don't know how many years, easily 20 plus years. And she's literally was my mentor and is now essentially my colleague and still mentor across the hall. Uh, so, so I want to describe what we've been doing this year, mainly because it's going to be totally different from any other year. What we've done this year so far with the team is, at least in the fall, we've competed in 7 different tournaments. And this is both speech and debate side. We have split the teams. One team went to, or debate team went to one tournament and speech went to another tournament, but it was the same weekend. So we were still competing the same time. And being online allows us to do that. One thing I wanted to get up and running right away with the team is creating dialogue, creating communication between the lower classmen and the upperclassmen. So I did set up a mentor-mentee structure where freshmen and sophomore are paired up with juniors and seniors. And it ranges from literally just like kind of get to know ice-breaking type of questions all the way up to, hey, watch my speech and give me critique on it. Where a freshman or sophomore may not know too much about how to give critiques, but the juniors and seniors have. Also, we created a self-nominated national or travel team where a student could only be on the team if they were nominated by another student. I can't even nominate the way the rules are set up. I can't even nominate a student for the team. It was pretty much, the process was pretty much fair, transparent, and this year, national travel team doesn't hold a lot of weight. Really would just be priority for getting into a tournament, but with the way that the tournament environment is, tournaments have been accepting pretty much any and everyone because it doesn't take too much to just add more essentially Zoom rooms for the tournament. So potentially next year there would be an emphasis on a national travel team, but so far this year, not so much. So plans for this semester already. We've already done one tournament. We competed at Arizona State University last weekend or this past weekend, and we have potentially 9 more tournaments to go. So we're looking at close to 17, 18 tournaments for this semester or this school year for 2021. And we realized that being fractured, going to tournaments essentially by yourself because you're staying in your house, hopefully in a quiet room by yourself, that we don't have the option to bond or communicate like we normally do. So we are actually purposefully, explicitly setting up team bonding situations and events and activities during class time, as this is something that is worth spending time on just to create a little bit better team and foster some playful and healthy competition. For next year, I've stopped trying to guess what's happening and predict what's happening because things change so quickly. They change for the better, they change for the worse. I've just stopped altogether. So in doing that, pretty much the safe assumption is until schools and universities fully open to students, meaning no online or mandatory online learning, anything along those lines, it's unlikely that speech and debate tournaments will either. A majority of tournaments are held at either high schools or colleges. And if those colleges aren't open to students, they won't be open to tournaments either. So, so I am right now preparing for fall of 2021 to be an online semester as well. Who knows, things could be totally different this time next year in spring of 2022. We might have in-person competition, I'm not sure. Again, I've stopped trying to guess or anticipate anything. But this is our tournament schedule for spring, and this should give you an idea of the rigor that we are expecting our competitors to participate in. So we've already done one. ASU was this past weekend. It was on a Friday, and it was odd filling out like field trip form because I had to get students removed or approved to miss class and attendance accounted for, even though students were staying at home. So ASU was this past weekend. We are actually hosting our own tournament at the end of the month, 30th and 31st, as well as that same weekend as Orange County Speech League. Orange County Speech League, let's see, Emily, if you, are you competing in speech and debate right now at Parks?
No.
Okay, so there is a junior high or elementary school level called OCDL, is Orange County Debate League. High school level is the Orange County Speech League. And in order to qualify for state qualifications, number 7, you have to compete at a tournament that is in your region, and OCSL is our region. We did a majority of students competed in the fall, but still a handful need to compete this weekend. So again, we're going to 2 tournaments at the same weekend. Also, the very next weekend, the first weekend in February, it's Claremont. Claremont does have a great forensic environment, and they host 2 tournaments, one in the fall, one in the spring. This is their spring tournament. And then Stanford. So normally Claremont is a local, really LA, Orange County schools are going to be attending, but Stanford is going to be a national level. So depending on how well you have been doing, looking at fall semester and looking at ASU and Winter Classic, I want to send the potentially high competitors to Stanford and still give the opportunity to compete for everyone else at Claremont Wolfpack. Stanford monetarily, financially is a little bit more expensive. Claremont is usually very simple and very easy to attend. But again, we're going to have a contingent, split up the team, two different tournaments the same weekend. And then we're going to come back together for UC Berkeley, or the Cal Invitational. That is about a month from now. So today's the 14th, UC Berkeley, that'll be the Sunday of the competition. We have 5 tournaments that we're doing in the next 4 weeks. Now, granted, you or your student isn't going to be competing in each 5 of those tournaments, possibly 3 though. So this is a rigorous schedule. And this is the schedule that really was set by students. We did have our officer meeting. Our officers talked to everyone else on the team. Officers came when we had a meeting, and this was the schedule that we decided on. I do try to run a student-led team where you do have a voice and say of what the team does. After UC Berkeley, we have state qualifiers. So we have a little bit of a break at the end of February. We'll have state qualifiers. The middle of March, this is our West LA district. This is our other region that we're in. This is our national region, is West LA district. We need to compete in this in order to go to Tournament of Champions, which is in April. And then we have our state championships at the end of April. So potentially the fierce competitors will be doing the state and national level, competing one weekend and then the next. NSDA, the for all the marbles type of tournament and competition is after the school year ends. So you've taken your finals, you've completed all your classes, and then you get to sit down and focus and really study for, or not study, but participate in the NSDA. And that's the last tournament if you do qualify for it. So really the big thing when it comes to benefits of speech and debate is, I always love to say this, is if you are a competitor, we do have judging obligations for every so many speakers and every so many debaters. We have to have judges that judge for the tournament. This is just a normal thing, part of speech and debate, where if you were in any other type of extracurricular, the idea of your parents or guardians or family members participating in it is they're just watching it. I mean, don't get me wrong, a good football game is amazing. A great play is so much fun to watch and entertaining. But with speech and debate, we do ask your parents to participate, where they come to a tournament, they will act as a judge. We do train people. We do train our judges, and we ask them to judge for a tournament. and they will see, they can't judge you just because of bias, but they will see your events and what you are competing in, and really they'll see how amazing the competition is. After that is college and career ready. The weight of speech and debate on a college application does speak volumes. This is an elective course. It does give you a fine arts requirement for college, or at least to matriculate up to the UC. But other than that, it really doesn't add anything. It's not a weighted class. It's not honors or APIB. But colleges love seeing speech and debate students coming to their campuses or applying to their campuses. And so that's the extrinsic, that's the physical part, but the intrinsic, the part that you really can't define, is being able to argue and communicate, and having that skill at a young age really helps in everything that you would do in your future. And this kind of leads into the next part, is finding one's voice. It is absolutely amazing when a student or a teenager, regardless of student, but just a teenager in general, is able to communicate, to have the confidence to speak up and say their piece. It is truly amazing. And going to the next part, that's also amazing. In a time where not many things are positive, especially in education, speech and debate is a positive force that is good for students and for focusing and allowing energy to be spent on something that's really positive. And when it comes to speech and debate in the pandemic, we really haven't slowed down at all. We haven't stopped production. We haven't stopped tournaments. We've actually increased pace. And then lastly, we have a fully supportive booster club. I was explaining before, the booster club is really meant to help out our team when it comes to financial things. They are a fundraising portion. They have done actually already 3 fundraisers this year for the team. We're looking to do a couple of more things before the end of the semester. And just to put it out there, our next booster club meeting is January 21st, which is a week from today. If you would like, Emily, more information about this, or if you want your folks to attend, you can direct message me or privately message me in chat and put in your email address and your phone number, and I can put you on the list so you can get that information. Okay. So I know it's just me and you, Emily, but do you have any questions about the program, or anything that you have concerns about, or thoughts that you want to share?
No, I just wanted to check it out.
Okay. Well, I hope to see you next year, Emily. It would be great to have you on the team, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.